Alright, so this is a three-part video series on how to use the Chicago Chess Center WordPress website. In this video, we'll talk specifically about the generic overview of how to go into the dashboard and modify your websites for upcoming maintenance that will occur later on in the website. So we'll go over pages, we'll go over the media, officers, directors, sliders, contacts. Those are the specific customized components of your website that will be discussed in this training video. For all the other ones, those are basically generic components that you can find anywhere online, or they're specifically parts of websites that should be left for a developer to touch because they could cause issues with the website if configured or improperly handled. So I will be training off of the developments site that I created for you guys instead of the live site. That way we can go in and make changes without having it reflect on the production website. So when I go to dev5.revolutionchicago.com, just know that when I say that, to actually go to your production website, chicagochesscenter.org. So I have the website up, and like I spoken on site, I typically like to have two tabs open so I can see, so I can go back and forth and check to see what the changes that I'm doing would look like live on the site. So to go to the back end, in my case, I'm going to go to dev5.revolutionchicago.com/wp-admin. You would go to chicagochesscenter.org/wp-admin. And when you put in the right address, you should see a login screen similar to this. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and log in. So now that you're logged in, this is basically back-end dashboard. When I refer to the dashboard, this is what I'm talking about. After you log in, you'll see all the different options that you have to configure the website. So there's just a couple of things. I didn't mention this earlier, but I'll just quickly go over users. Users essentially are all the users that have access to your website. You could hover over the existing users. You can either edit the users by change, and you'll be able to change their email address. You'll be able to change access, which is basically at this point it's either or none. None means subscribers, contributors, authors, editors, or administrators, which gives you all the access to make all the different changes. You can change the email address. You can change the passwords, or if you go back, you could just delete the account. Add new will allow you to add new users, and basically everything in WordPress is laid out like this. So when you click on a main level menu item, you will get a similar grid layout like this, and all the different components of that item will show up like this, and you can edit by hovering over that item or delete that item. The add new is always going to be at the top. It's going to be in a big blue button, and you also have the option to search for specific keywords to basically narrow down what you're trying to edit or delete. So the next thing I want to go over is pages, and similarly, if I click on pages on the left hand side menu, the layout, it's pretty similar. I could search for items. So if I wanted to search for gallery, I'll type in the keyword gallery, and you'll see that the search brings up two gallery item results, and you can hover over them to either edit them or put it in the trash. And then the add new pages at the top. So all the same options are there. So with the pages on the site, the easiest way to find what you're looking for is just to navigate on the site and try to go to a specific page. So for example, let's say I wanted to edit the Visit Chicago page. Well, how WordPress lays it out is under pages, the title of the page is essentially this part right here, or whatever shown up in the menus, and you basically just search for it. So either you can scroll down and click on the next page to try to find it, or you could just search for it. Typically, searching for it will be a lot easier. So Visit Chicago is right here. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit. And sometimes you'll get some weird code version. That's just that's the code editing view. If you see that, just click on Visual on the Visual tab over here, and that'll give you the visual layout, which will be a lot easier for those who don't know how to program. And right now, you'll be able to see the page as you could kind of see it on the site. Some of the colors and stylings won't be exact because those get applied on the website, but for the most part, the layout is pretty similar. So there are a couple text editing features that I want to go over. As you're typing, it's just like Word. You go ahead and you can type. You highlight the characters that you want to edit, and you have right align. You can have left align. You could set a text color to it. For example, green if I wanted to. You can see how it changes there. If you want things to be bullet pointed out, you could. Bold and italicized, same thing. Bold, italicized, basically just highlight the text, and you click on the options that you want. Font styles is under font family, font sizes, and so forth. Hyperlinks is probably something you want to be doing. You'll probably be doing pretty often. So highlight the words that you want to be hyperlinked. So click here. Let's say here it's going to be a hyperlink. So highlight the word here. You'll click on this little chain link here, and you would just type in whatever the URL is. Just make sure it has http:// in it if it's an external website. And I think by default it does do that. Let's see. I click on that. Yeah, so http:// is already put in for you. So you just type in whatever the rest of the website is. If you want it to open up a new tab when somebody clicks on that word, keep this box checked. Or if it's going to be an internal site, you could just select down here. You have options in terms of having it having a link go to a page or to a specific event or slider. You'll probably just want to do pages. Look for stuff that says pages. So let's say I wanted this. Let's exit out of here. Let's say click here to contact us, and let's say we want the word here to be a hyperlink to the contact page. You'll search for contact, and you want to select contact us. It'll automatically put in the URL for you. The other option is to go to the contact page to your site and copy the URL at the top and just paste it in. Both methods work fine. Click on add. Since it's an internal link, you don't want it to open up a new tab. Click on add link, and you can see that now it's underlined. It'll either be in blue or purple. Purple means that it's a link that you've been to before. Blue means it's a new link, like this, like these. So if you see the color change to blue or purple with an underline, then you know you did the hyperlink correctly. You can always preview your changes to see what your changes have been without actually making it live on the site. So here, you can see that it's not blue and purple here. It's red because the styling of the website take place. But you can see that new changes have taken place in the preview mode. Now, if you're happy with those changes, then go ahead and click on Update, the blue button on the right-hand side over here. The other option you also have with pages is that you could set the banners of each of the pages. Each of the pages on the sites have their own different unique page picture. If you want to edit that, you go to the page, and over on the right hand side there's a featured image. You'll just want to click on it, and you can upload the new file into the window. It'll upload it, and then you can set it as the featured image. If you're curious to see what the image size is, in order to provide to the designer to say, hey, I want this image to be changed, but they ask you what the size is, You go to the page, you'll click on the image here, and then you'll go to media library, and you can see that the page size is 1168 width and 296 height, and that's in pixels. So once you provide that to the designer, as well as let them know it's a JPEG, you could have them create another image of the exact same size and the exact same file type. Once they provide you the image, you'll just upload it by just dragging the image into the window, and it'll upload, set as a featured image, and then once that's set, then you click on update, and you just updated the page with the new image. So one last tidbit that I mentioned before is there is a difference as you're typing between pressing enter, which is a paragraph break where it's the line return plus another line return, versus a shift enter where it's just a line return. So you can see the difference between the spacing between those two. Adding an image, put your cursor where you want the image to be. So let's say I wanted an image right before restaurant. I'll put the cursor there. I'll click on add media. You could either upload an image, or you could select an image that already exists on the site by clicking on the media library tab. And it's taking a while just to load the image, but in the meantime, you can also insert from a URL. So let's say I wanted to grab from another website, so I'll go to, for example, Yahoo, and let's say I wanted to grab that image. So I just right click and copy let's see, not link address. Let's see if I can just grab the image there. That'd be a little bit too difficult. Let's see if I grab the image here. Copy image URL. Now this is going to depend on the browser you use. With Chrome, is right click and copy image URL. If you have Safari or Firefox, you'll just have to look up online on how to copy an image URL. In any case, I'm gonna select this image, which is taken from this particular URL, insert into page, and essentially, if I preview changes and I go to the correct page, visit Chicago, you'll see that the let's make sure this works. You'll see that the image is now on the page. There you go. And and let's say I want this image to be a hyperlink to the article of this particular image. I could click on it, click on the hyperlink, and then let's go to the Yahoo. Let's click on this. So let's say I want that image to go to this. I'll paste it, open up a new tab because it's a link going to an external website. I'm going to click on preview changes. And now you can see it's a hyperlink because the cursor has changed. If I click on it, it'll open up a new tab to the article. So that's essentially how to create an image and then making that image into a hyperlink. That's a pretty common feature for most websites. So the next thing I want to go over is now that we're done with pages, I want to go over media. And media is basically the area of the dashboard that houses all the images, all the Word docs, the PDFs, all the different assets that you will upload to the website. So as you can see, we have almost the entire images of the website here in this media section, and this allows you to edit or at least find out more information of all the different images. So let's just say now, of course, if I reload this page, it'll revert back to, if I inlay this URL there, it'll go back to the original page because I didn't make any changes. I didn't click on the blue update button back in the page section. So now that the page reloads, you see that all the changes I made did not take effect. In any case, I want to try to find a page that has an image within the actual article, the actual content itself. So I'm just going to browse around. I think there's one in our mission. Let's see. Yes, so this little flag here, you can either go to the page and edit this flag, or you can go to the media and try to find that flag. It's called, the Czech and America flag. If you search for just the keyword flag, it should just bring it up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. So let's say I want to edit the flag. So I see that the image is the PNG. It's a PNG type image. The dimensions is 160 width, 107 height. And if I just wanted to grab just the URL, let's just say somebody is interested in having that image as well, and you want to provide that to them. You could say, hey, go to this particular URL, and they can, get to the image right away. Or if you wanted to add this image into a newsletter, or whatever purpose you want, but you just want that image alone, and you need the URL, you could just grab it by going to media, searching for the image, and click on edit of that image, and then you get all the different information on the right hand side. If you want to upload, eventually when you do have an image to replace that's the exact same file type and dimensions, you'll click on upload a new file. And unlike the page, you'll have to click on choose file and select it from the pop-up instead of dragging it into the window. So that's a little difference there. So if I had an image, I would just upload it here, but I don't. And then just click on upload. So that's how you would replace an image. So that's the media section. The next area I want to go over is officers. So on your website, under leadership, there's a special customized component of the website I programmed specifically for you guys, and it's called the officers and directors elements in the dashboard. And this allows you to add officers and directors pretty easy, and it will automatically have all the criteria for you to enter in. It'll allow you to provide the name, the forgot what this is specifically called. Let's take a look. The credentials, as well as the bio for that person, and the email address if they have one. So let's take a look in more detail of how to do this. So let's say I want to edit officers. I will click on the officers tab, and I can see that these are all the specific officers that we have on the site. So if I wanted to create a new officer, and let's go ahead and do that, I'll click on add new, and let's say I wanted to create a new officer. So I have to give it a title. The title is essentially this part right here. So I'll do John Doe. In here, in this big area here, that's the actual bio of that person. So I'm just gonna grab some some fake text just to make it look like it's real. So I'm gonna grab all of this. It'd be a 3-paragraph bio, and let's say I want certain ones. I think the rule of thumb is the first few words is the person's name, and that's gonna be bold. So I'll highlight that, make that bold, and let's say I want this part to be italicized. It may be, let's say this is a hyperlink, so I'll highlight that, and let's say that's that person's company. So let's say that person worked for Microsoft, for example. It's an external website, so I'll have that checked. So that looks like a pretty good bio. So the next thing I want to do is provide the credentials. The credentials are over here. So let me just grab some credentials. I'm just going to copy from Christina, and I'll put it in here. So essentially, how the credential works, it looks like it's the position, comma, and then the company, and the company is italicized. So as I highlight this word, it looks like the italicized button is checked, so that looks good. And then And then yeah, so each of the different companies will have that. So this one uses the shift enter for the line break. So I'm gonna click on shift enter and I'll create another title. So let's say CEO. Let's unitalicize that. So shift unitalicize CEO. And let's see, CEO. Let's just do testing company incorporated. I'll highlight the entire word. I'll make it italicized. I've noticed that the color of this text is a little bit different versus this. So let's see if I could highlight that and then choose the right text color. So I think it's a dark blue there. Perfect. And now email address. So email address, I'll just do johndoe@gmail.com. And last thing I want to do is I want to set a featured image. The featured image is this image here, as well as this image here. The website will auto resize it. Since I don't know what the image size is, the best thing to do is I'm going to open up a new tab though. I'm going to open up a new tab, go to officers. The best way to find out how to do something for this website is to see how the previous or all the other elements are stored and basically mimic the same thing. So I'll edit Christina. I'll click on the image so I can find out what the image information is, so that I could find out, to provide to the designer or the photographer what the image size I need for John Doe here. So I click on the image and it looks like it's a JPG, and it's 169 by 217. So those are the dimensions I would provide to the photographer. Once the photographer has given me an image of 169 by 217, I would go to the new officer. I'll click on set featured image, and I would drag that image into the window and upload it. In this case, I don't have one, so I'll choose one that's existing. So I will choose, let's say John Doe is this person right here. We'll just know that Robert Biddle is also John Doe. I'll click on set featured image, and I'll click on publish. So now that if I go to officers, John Doe should show up. And you'll see there's email John Doe because I provided the email address. If I didn't provide email address, like some of the directors, the email person name won't show up. Credentials look good, picture looks good, title looks good. If I click on view full bio, looks like everything that I did is a 3-paragraph. First couple words are bold, and then there's a hyperlink to Microsoft. That looks good. If I click on that hyperlink, opens up a new tab and it goes to Microsoft. That looks good. The one last thing that does not look good is, let's say I don't want John Doe to be the top. Let's make him, I won't put him last because that'd be too easy. Let's put him right before Michael. What you want to do is go to officers and you want to go to reorder. And it's the same thing for directors. Everything that I mentioned for officers all applies for directors as well. How to add new directors and the image and the bios, credentials, title, or the name, it's all the same. The reorder is also the same as well. So I'm going to go back to officers. I'm going to click on reorder. And it's a click and drag movement. So let's say, like I said, I want John Doe to be right before Michael. So I'll click on John Doe, put him right before Michael, click on update. Refresh the page, and John Doe will move right before Michael. So that's how you reorder. Let's see. Thought I saw something, but guess I didn't. So anyways, so I'll go back to all items. So let's say I want to delete John Doe. Hover over his name, put him to the trash. And if I refresh the page, now John Doe is gone. So that's how you would update officers and directors. The next thing I want to go over is sliders. Sliders is the movement of the banners on the home page, this mechanism here. So let's say I wanted to add a new slide, but before I add a new slide, I want to find out how big this image is. So I'll just click on it and edit an existing slide. I'll click on this featured image here, and on the right hand side it tells me what the image size or the image type is. It's JPEG, JPG, and the image size is 1168 by 406. So let's say I wanted to create a new slide. So click on add new. Let's do slide 4, and let's say the slide does have a hyperlink. So let's say the hyperlink is going to yahoo.com. Let's imagine that I did have an image ready to go. So I'll click on set featured image. I really don't, so what I'll do is I will click on an existing image, an existing slide image, which I know is this one. So slide 2 will also be slide 2 to slide 4, at least the image will. I'll set as featured image. I'll click on publish. I'll go to reorder. I just want to make sure and ensure that slide 4 is this last slide. It's not, so I'll click on it and drag it to the last position. Click on update. And right now we have 3 slides. I can tell that by seeing that there's 3 little circles here, which allows you to go to specific images. But if I refresh, I now see that there's 4 circles. So this is the first one. I'll slide to the second one, slide to the third one, and the fourth one, which looks like the second one. So it looks like, you know, that's our slide addition did work. So that's how you add a slide. And if I wanted to delete that 4th slide, I'll just go to sliders and then click on trash. Once I do that and I go to the home page, looks like we're back to 3 slides again. So let me just clear out some of these tabs. So that's how you add a slide as well as reordered. Oh, I forgot, the last thing I forgot to do is on that 4th slide, if you did click on it, it would have gone to Yahoo because that slide did have a hyperlink. As you can see, at least for slide 1, there is no hyperlink, so that's why nothing happens when you click on it. The next thing I want to go over is contact. The reason why I want to go over contact is just for a quick thing. The contact is the membership form. What that is specifically is, and let's see if I can find it. On the home page, if you click on find out how, it goes to a contact form, which is this part right here. And the reason I want to go over contact form is not to, you know, edit the contact form itself, or the membership form. Maybe I should call it the membership form, just because there's some coding requirements. The reason why I'm just going over this section is if you wanted this membership form, right now how it works is when somebody fills out the membership form and they click on sign up, it emails a person what that person has emails a person of CCC of what the visitor has filled out. And if you wanted to change that email address, and right now it's going to you know, Christina, if you wanted this to go to maybe another email address, let's say it's another person, let's say it should be going to John Doe, or maybe a better thing is more like a more generic inbox like memberships dot or at chicagochesscenter.org. You would just go to this mail section here and put it in the email address, and when you're happy with it, scroll all the way at the top and click on save, and that way when somebody fills out this form, it'll go to memberships at chicagochesscenter.org. So that's under contact, and yes, the only reason why we're only going to the contact is just to show you how to edit the email address. So let me just double check my notes to see if there's anything else I want to go over. We will go over the event espresso and the gallery in future videos. I will also talk about backups in the future video because that's important as well. I think that's basically it. So in this video, just wrap everything up. We went over pages, and went over how to edit pages and some of the tools that WordPress has in order to update your content, like creating bold, italicized, linking text, really easily, as well as the banners on those pages. We went over media, which essentially is the repository of all the different pictures and text files that you have that you uploaded to the site. That area allows you to easily navigate to a specific image to find a direct link to it, as well as picture information, the dimensions, and the file type to provide to a designer or a photographer or a developer. We went over officers and directors, which are specific custom elements on your website to allow you to add new leadership to your website really easily, as well as allow you to order the leaderships. Slider, which appears on your home page at the top, the thing that moves, that fade in and fade out. We went over how to add slides and reorder slide, as well as delete slides, as well as adding slides that will be a hyperlink when clicked on, as well as the contact. The last thing we went over was the contact, which specifically how to edit the email that the membership form emails to when somebody fills out a membership. So that basically is it. Thank you.